All right, class. Here's a third example, continuing on with our simple inheritance example, using Eclipse and the works that we've been building on for the last two days of Module 1. So where we kind of left off last class, our last presentation was developing or fleshing out the two-string methods for the checking account class as well as the bank account class. And uh, by default, since the superclass of all classes in Java is the object class and it has a two-string method, what we're doing is a technique called overriding the two-string method with our own customized two-string method. And it's generally a useful idea to have a two-string method for the classes you develop because they can be used to troubleshoot the class functions and print out variable values so that you know instead of having to, put in a whole bunch of system.out.print lines in all of your methods, you can just wrap it into one method. So let's talk about the bank account two-string method, and it also introduces the concept I alluded to earlier, in that we want to take our money amounts and format them as currency. Okay, so let's do this. This is stuff that's not in the book, but it's interesting. Um, and recall then that I'm making use of this import java.text because that's where the currency formatter is. And so what I'll do is I will do number format as the class name, and I'll have an instance called formatter. And this will equal to number format dot get currency instance. Okay, this is the formatter that's going to be used to format the account balance into currency representation. So we need a string. We'll call it money string. And that will equal to our formatter dot format. And what we need to format is this right here. See the IntelliSense of the Eclipse IDE? We need to pass it a double, and that double, of course, will be our balance right here. Okay, so we'll get the balance and format it as a currency. And then the result will be stuffed into a string. Okay, and so with that, we're ready to um, return the method's two-string output. So what we'll say is bank account. And what do we need to know about the bank account? We need to know the first name. Okay, and the way we get the first name is we use our getter method. So we can use this dot get. Do we not have a get first name method? If not, we should put one in. Oh, we do not have a get first name method. Okay, so we need a getter for the first name. Okay, so I have a setter for the first name, but we need a getter. So we'll do a public string get first name. Okay, and that return this dot what first name, right? Okay, remember first name is a private variable, so this is how we access the variable. And then we need a similar method we need a similar getter for last name. So we'll go public string get last name. Okay, and so we'll return this dot what last name. Okay, so there are getters for the account holder's name. So now we can use these getters inside of our two-string method. So first name is equal to this dot what get first name. Okay, and what else? We can say last name equals what? This dot get last name. Okay. And oops, let's see, make sure everything is correct here. Okay. And then we want to return, of course, the account ID. Okay. And so how do we do that? Well, we need to convert the account ID, of course, is an integer, so we need to convert the integer value into a string. Okay, and this would be what? This dot get account ID, right? And then with the account ID, it has to have a balance, right? So we have to say balance equals, okay, and then of course that would be our money string plus money string, okay, and then close our delineation, which I'm using brackets for. Okay, all right, so it's hoped that the account balance now is formatted as currency. Oops, and there's a spurious plus sign. Should get rid of. Okay, so this is our toString method. And okay, so it's kind of awkward to call a toString method because it could be confused with ancestor toString methods. So why don't we tidy things up here and just declare a method called account summary. Okay, and all it does is just call the toString method. So return this dot toString. And so this will summarize your account. Okay, so the toString method. All right, now we need to, of course, work on the details of the toString method of the checking account. All right, so this should be pretty easy. We'll delete the old code, the old placeholder, and all we need to do is just call the super account summary method, right? Because we want to print out the account summary. And then, of course, we need to incorporate information about the interest rate. Interest rate equals, okay, and plus, now the interest rate, of course, is a double, right? So we want string dot value of, okay, and do we have a getter for we do not have a getter. So we need a getter for the interest rate. So public, what? Interest rate is a double, right? Double get interest rate. Okay, and all it does is return this dot interest rate. Okay, so that'll be our getter for private data. So this dot get interest rate, and that's expressed as a percentage, right? Okay, so there are our toString methods. So I believe at this point, our checking account and bank account classes are mostly designed. Okay, and so now in our next presentation, we'll talk about um, building accounts, creating accounts, and then stuffing the accounts with data. So stay tuned for that. Oh, I guess before we depart, we should save everything, right? And we should make sure that I have not broken anything. Okay, so no compilation errors. E2CD. Okay. All right, so we've got all that set. All right. Again, if you have any questions or thoughts about this particular video, feel free to post in the discussion forum.